Michigan State falls at home 66-60 to Duke, a game that was pretty competitive, a game that I think MSU let one kind of get away from them, a game that honestly, if you ask about a lot of MSU fans, I feel like it was kind of like if you win this game, it's obviously great. You go 4-0, but even if you lose this game, you go 3-1 in the big non-conference games. You have to be pretty happy about that. But at the end of the day, when you're walking out of Breslin with a 6-point loss, how are you feeling about this? Even though you are already guaranteed at least going 3-1 against Arkansas, North Carolina, Kentucky, and Duke.
Well, to be completely honest with you, it kind of sucked.
Agreed.
Maybe for no other reason than I had my alarm set for 6:30 and woke up, and my buddy texted me that he was already on his way to my apartment. So we were in line outside the Breslin Center since like 7 a.m., which is kind of wild considering some people were out there since like 4, 3, like some crazy times. But so all that for a loss always hurts. But outside of that, obviously, like you said, it you already secured a winning record against Arkansas. Except the thing is, Kentucky don't look that good. But
And Arkansas doesn't even look that good
yeah,
either.
they really don't. So maybe Carolina's the best win of the bunch right now. Well, I mean, I guess you definitely say that. So you would have loved to see them take this one too, because Duke's kind of another level in those three
Yeah,
teams. But it's never all down to a couple guys. But you
no.
never really had much of a chance when you had 0 of 10 from Fears, and from the shooting guard spot you had 1 of 7 between Tang and Fort. So the fact that they're in that game the whole way with that's 1 of 17 from your primary point guard and your 2 rotational shooting guards. And 1 of 17 is not a high percentage. That's not a
No.
recipe to win games. And just the fact that they're playing down to the wire shows that they can compete with everybody. Not like we didn't know that. I mean, you know, basically any Izzo team is going to be able to at least hang with anybody.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty bad performance to hang in, and they did hang in. So it's not really a moral victory because it's not really a thing, and I know Izzo doesn't believe in that. But it's like, all right, now we see what we can do playing bad. What if we play much better?
Yeah. Yeah, Izzo definitely was not very happy. If you saw his press conference after the game, I think that's like the most like upset I've seen him in a while. And I think going into this game, you and I talked about like, hey, like it's a home game. You have an opportunity here. It's going to
Yeah,
be a raucous atmosphere. I thought the atmosphere all game was great. I thought the whole Breslin was obviously packed. It was a great atmosphere.
yeah.
MSU got some good.
The
Whiteout
whiteout
was
worked
great.
well. I've never seen it
Yeah.
work that well.
I was just going to say, it seemed like everyone actually kind of participated in
Yeah,
that, which outside of kind of like stripe the stadium for
yeah.
MSU
It
for
never
football,
happens.
there's not a ton of
I
really
agree.
great overall kind of collaboration with the fan base. But you could definitely tell that this was a game that they truly wanted to win and showed up to do so.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, there's something about the basketball program and how Izzo's built this thing up, and maybe it's the fact that it was a down football year helps. But I mean, the reality is there were people outside almost overnight to
Yeah.
watch this basketball team go to work, and you saw that in the environment on Breslin, and Duke felt it. I know Cam Boozer felt it, but they just
Yeah.
outlasted us a little bit, and Boozer really started to get into a groove in the second half. He only had 2 points at halftime, wound up with 18, and he fouled out, so he could have got a couple more maybe down the stretch in the free throw shooting battle that it is when a team takes like a 1 or 2 possession lead at the end. So yeah, I mean, my thing is a little bit the little concern I have, I guess, is not really about the loss or any. I just think this Duke team isn't as quite as good as their team last year. I think it was more beatable. Like it was a
Yeah, probably.
more winnable game than when he had Flag and Kneppel and Malawak. But hey, I mean, again, it was what, December 5th when the game was 6th. Like,
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah.
it's a long way to go, and if you see these dudes again, you see them again, and they're clearly beatable.
Yeah, and this was a game that obviously you mentioned Kurt Ting really struggled. Like he missed like his 5 shots in like the first like 4 minutes. Like you
Yeah,
could
I think
definitely
four of
tell,
them he took in the first 4 minutes, missed all four. So
and they weren't even relatively even close either.
no,
Like they were off. Izzo pulled in pretty early. Um, Trey Fort didn't play very much in this game. I thought Jordan Scott had by far the best minutes at the two. I think he's a guy that's going to have to obviously get a little bit more time. I thought Jaxon Kohler in this game, what crazy enough to say, but like, is he our best 3-point shooter on this team? Because he went 4 for 6 in this game. Like, he was the only guy that I trusted shooting the three, and then obviously he has some like missed bunnies around the rim. We'd love to see him make some, obviously, but like Kohler was great in this game. I do want to give a ton of flowers though to Carson Cooper. I think Carson Cooper showed everything that I don't want to say fans hoped he would be, but like Carson Cooper, he was great. Like he was elite in this game. 16 and 16 against a guy in Cam Boozer that like he shut down in the first half. Still had 18 points, but like he wasn't really like that efficient either. Like defensively he was great, offensively he was great. No one expected this from Carson Cooper ever, and I don't think this is a quote unquote Mady Sissoko moment. I think we've seen enough from Carson Cooper this year that like maybe he might not get you 16 and 16, but like you can trust him. And I did not imagine myself saying that even going into this year from last year. Like I thought there was moments last year where you're like, okay, he's Carson Cooper, right? Like he's going to be decent defensively. He isn't going to be able to contribute very much offensively, but this game, I thought Carson Cooper not only was great, he deserved a win in this one, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, Coop played great. I mean, 16 and 16 is crazy. He was all over the glass, basically from the tip. I, I, I think the biggest advantage that Cooper playing like this does for MSU the remainder of the way is that it allows Izzo to not even think twice about running a Cooper and Kohler lineup. Like obviously they start together, but
Yeah,
when they can both play, Kohler went 31, Coop played 32. When they can both do that and feed off of each other effectively like they did, it bodes incredibly well for the Big Ten season. And then it you don't want to go here already, but look at the freaking national title odds. I mean, there's a clear favorite to win the national title right now, and that team happens to be about 60 miles east of where Michigan State plays, and
yeah,
they've got size like nobody else. So
yeah,
again, I'm not really trying to go there because that first meeting isn't till late January, but it makes you feel a bit better that you can have Kohler. I mean, yeah, 6'9", but Cooper in there 6'11", because they're gonna have Mara or Merez Johnson, and they're going to have Yaxel Lendeborg, and dudes that are just huge presences down
yeah,
low. And it's not even just only focusing on Michigan, like the narrative that always tries to get created. The goal of this team is to win the Big Ten title and then to win the national title. So if you're trying to win the
yeah,
Big Ten title, you got to beat Michigan at least one of those two games, you would think. So
yeah, you would
just
think so.
looking at that down the road, you like that Coop and Kohler are going to be able to play with each other fluently, and I think it ties back to what you said. I mean, Jaxon Kohler, he damn well might be the best 3-point shooter on the team, if for no
Which is
other
crazy.
reason. Yeah, if for no other reason, just because of the sheer volume. Like
Yeah,
he's shooting. I don't know. I guess I'll pull it up, but I don't know the exact number of how many he's taken a night, but it feels like it's around 4. So he's getting himself in rhythm, and it's working. Now he went. I think, what did he go? Only one of
it was
he
like
only went
one of
one
like
of 5
7.
from inside the
Yeah,
arcs. You
yeah.
need
That
that to
that's
be a
why
bit
that's why I
better.
was saying like the touch around the rim. I would
Yeah,
love for him to have a
and
little bit
that's what
more.
that's what he always used to have, a little I mean, he still has it. I'm not saying it's gone, but
Yeah,
you just hope he finds it. And hey, I mean, this is going to be an exciting team. I meant to touch on this when I was initially talking about how they played kind of poorly and still won. The one thing that's not characteristic of an Izzo team is to turn it over only 5 times. So that
yeah,
is something you probably aren't replicating too much and losing. So that's kind of disappointing there. But like we said, I mean, 1 of 17 between Fears, Tang, and Fort, and it was kind of like what you've seen a lot in the Izzo tenure. And I mean, I love that that guy, he was out there high-fiving us all at like 7:45 in the morning. Like, he's a freaking legend. But
oh
for
yeah,
whatever reason, he struggles to coach an efficient offense against the zone, and we saw that on Saturday. I mean, Duke sat in that zone basically the entire second half, and it gave MSU fits. And again, it didn't help that Fears wasn't making anything, and there was no real spacing. The only spacing we got was after Jordan Scott hit a couple threes. So it's all things you figure out. I think, yeah. You got anything?
I think this is going to be a team that is going to continue to probably face a little zone going forward.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're going to probably definitely see that against Michigan. There's not a ton of teams that go zone, so I don't think it's going to be a ton. If they do, obviously, that when they play Oakland, they'll face the wonky zone. I think MSU will be completely fine against Oakland. But I did look it up, and Jaxon Kohler is currently shooting 47% from three and 16 for 34.
Yeah,
Pretty
so right around
decent.
4 a game.
Yeah, like
just under it.
Do I think he's going to continue to shoot 47%? No.
But that's a freaking crazy clip, even 9 games in. That's a good clip.
It is a good clip, and he's obviously been really good. I thought he was good in this game. I do want to kind of get into a little bit more about Jeremy Fears, because obviously you and I have talked very highly about Jeremy Fears, and I think Jeremy Fears has been getting a little bit more probably hate towards this game than he kind of deserves. And I think a lot of it obviously has to do with the over 10 from the field. A lot of people made a similar comparison to another guard that went about over 10 in an NCAA tournament game that is currently playing for a different coach right now. But he did have 13 assists in this game. I thought he was really good at like pace of play and like really running the offense. Obviously, he wasn't really good at the shooting part of it, which I know that was kind of brought up by other people on social media that were saying that, hey, Jeremy Fears is not a good 3-point shooter, that they would leave him open at the 3-point line. But with that being said, I do want to get into a little bit of the Cam Boozer situation with Jeremy Fears. When obviously you being a part of the IZone, for anyone that was at the Breslin or anyone that was watching, the IZone was saying quite a few different words about Cam Boozer, and there was one moment in the TV you just see Jeremy Fears just like, bring it on. What are your thoughts on that? I know there's been some people that say, love it, that's what I want my point guard to do, that's who he is, that's just the way he rolls. Some people will say it's a little bit too far. Where do you align with this? I think this is who Jeremy Fears is.
All right, I'll be honest. I really don't think it's the best look, but
Okay.
I don't think he cares, and I don't think he should care. Like, I'm not sitting there like, yeah, that's awesome. Except it kind of is awesome. That's just who he is, man. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Boozer takes any offense to it either.
No.
I mean, I was in the freaking like 8th row, and Carlos Boozer himself is sitting like directly in front of me, like 4 rows. Like, he doesn't care either. It's just,
No.
he played
It's just
20
part of
years
the
in the
game,
league.
right?
He went to Duke. You know you're going to Duke. That's the most hated basketball program in the country. And if you're the best player, if you're going to go in the top 3 of the draft, yeah, a bunch of drunk college fans are going to be yelling F your name. And that's just how, that's just the reality of it. That's what you sign up for when you're a surefire NBA star. So, I mean, I think the fact that Fears does it is hilarious, and yeah, I don't think it's like this incredible sportsman look, but I don't think he cares. I don't care. I don't think Cam Boozer cares. Like, it's just the nature of being a competitor. I mean, and Fears is clearly an ultimate competitor, and he's trying to do whatever it gets for his team to win. And then if that's getting in the head of the opposing team's best player, that's getting in the head of the opposing team's best player.
Yeah, and also I don't think people would care about it if Michigan State won this game either. I don't think that would have been any part of the discussion either.
No, and Jeremy Fears went 0 of 10, and he is nowhere near. I mean, like you said, he had 13 freaking assists, man. Like this dude, 13 assists to 1 turnover. Yeah, Michigan fans, come in and clown him all you want. Like, clown this dude. Please do it, because I cannot wait for him to eat up Elliot Cadeau. I don't know how Michigan State will handle the other players. I guarantee you Fears gives Cadeau hell, at least in one of the games.
Oh, yeah, probably.
0 of 10, yeah, it's a horrible look, and you got to find a way to not do that. But,
Yeah.
hey,
Also, MSU almost out-rebounded Duke in this game. It was 44-43, and we know that Duke is a good rebounding team.
Yeah.
Also, we scored 60 points against a Duke defense that is top 10 in the country. Duke offensively is top 10 in the country, and they scored 66. So I think this is just a matchup between two really, really good teams.
Good teams that aren't going to get outside their play style. We were always going to
No.
slow it down. And when Duke was setting their defense, we had no transition points. If there's one gripe against Izzo from the fan base, that just always has been what it will be, is if you aren't running transition well and you don't have shooting, half-court offense might be a little rough. But like you said, the Duke defense is great too. So it was kind of just a perfect storm for a low-scoring loss, and
Yeah.
nobody should be overly alarmed.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Cohen Carr, I didn't think I did a great game either. 4 for 13. It would have been nice to have a good game from him, too.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when he's not confidently consistent in that jumper, and when you have that, man, I mean, when you have a team that can match his athleticism, so it's going to be hard for him to get blow bys, it's going to be hard for him to score. You just hope that even as we progress into February, into March, he's feeling a bit better with that jumper and things can open up for him.
I was just going to say, if you think about it for MSU, like your 4 main guys, you only got like good performance scoring wise from 2 of them. Like Fears had 6, Carr had 10, but like it was on 13 shots. Like Kohler and Cooper are really kind of the only ones out of their main guys that played well. I thought obviously Jordan Scott played well in his 26 minutes, which is crazy. I thought Justin McCulloch gave a good 4 minutes. I would have liked to see him maybe a little bit more, especially if Carson Cooper wasn't playing well, but you can't take off Carson Cooper when he has 16. So I understand that move. But yeah, I would love to see Cam Ward play a little bit better as well. Divine was Divine. Trey Fort didn't really do very much of anything, like the shooting guards.
What you're going to need him to start doing, you're gonna need him or Tang to step up, but Cam Ward was also playing with that brace on his wrist, and it didn't. I
can't blame him for that.
Yeah, it didn't look like a playable brace either. It didn't look like a soft bend. It looked like he was wearing like hard plastic, which I'm sure he wasn't. But just from my vantage point, it looked like a horrible thing to try to play basketball with. So I can't blame him at all.
Yeah,
and
the
one thing you probably can blame
him.
Yeah. And you're still, and I'm sure he wanted to play. He wanted to play. So I guess if I could blame him on one thing, it would be maybe his shot selection. Knowing you had the brace on, he kind of took like a fall away, awkward angled bank attempt, which probably never should have been shot. But
no, probably not.
He's a lot better basketball player than I'll ever be.
Oh, yeah, a lot better than I ever would be. But would love to see Jordan Scott obviously play a little bit more. I think going forward with the schedule that MSU has, especially coming up against Penn State, which will transition to there, I think it's going to be important to figure out who's going to be the 2 for this team. Is Kurt Tank still going to start? If he starts high, I think you play him quite a bit. Trey Ford, you might give him a shot. I think this might be a real opportunity against Penn State to really play Jordan Scott quite a few more minutes at the 2. I definitely think that would be something I'm going to kind of keep an eye on for. But this is a Penn State team. If you don't have any more stuff on Duke, this is a Penn State team that is very guard heavy when it comes to their top 3 leading scorers. They have their top scorer is a guy in Caden Mingo. He averages a little bit over 15 points a game. They also do have another guard as well, Freddie Dillion. Sorry if I completely botched your name. 13 points as well. And then they actually have a freshman. I believe he's from Turkey, if I understand. Milai Tunka. What a great name. That's a great last name, in my opinion. 12.8 points this year. And then after that, it's mostly forwards. They shoot about 37% from 3. A little bit over 70% from the field. Averages 82 points a game. Just got destroyed by Indiana. If you really look at kind of the good teams that Purdue has played this year, mostly lost to them. So what's your thoughts going into this game at Penn State, which is always difficult to go on the road in the Big Ten?
I'm going to get clipped if we lose.
I
don't mean any disrespect to Penn State, but this is like a mid-major basketball team. They are pretty bad. They are 106th in the Torvik, which is behind, let me just name a few teams: UNC Wilmington, Tulsa, Grand Canyon, High Point, Belmont, Utah Valley, Illinois State, McNeese State. Like, they are behind the good mid-major teams grade out significantly better than Penn State. And yes, going on the road is hard in the Big Ten. Coming off finals week and considering it's Penn State at the Bryce Jordan Center, there might be 10 people at that game.
Probably.
That arena is always unbelievably empty every time Michigan State takes the court. They're the last couple of years. I mean, maybe dating back when they had who am I thinking of? Lamar Stevens.
Booty ball, maybe.
Yeah, they were filling it up a bit more, but this is not a good basketball team. Like you said, they have beat nobody. They have lost to Providence and by 41 to Indiana. And Zach, your guess is as good as mine as the best win for them out of Fairfield, New Haven, Navy, LaSalle, Harvard, Boston U, Sacred Heart, and Campbell.
I'm going to be respectful of the midshipmen,
Boston,
and I'm going to say Navy. I think Navy. Do I think Navy overall is great? No, but I think for the American, there will be a good team. But at the same time, I think MSU beats Navy by like 20 plus.
Yeah, I hope so.
But to be respectful, I think the midshipmen are by far the best out of that group. And I do mean it too. I don't mean just respectfully. Like, I do think they're the best team, and they only beat them by like 10.
Yeah, I guess this isn't really what we're supposed to be doing, previewing, but these dudes did not get the best draw to start their Big Ten season. They're at Indiana, then home against us. Then they got Pittsburgh and North Carolina Central in the middle. And then listen to this: home against number 13 Illinois, home against number 2 Michigan. Then after they get through that, they get rewarded by going to Mackey to play Purdue. So I'm pretty confident
win a game
for
like a month in the Big Ten. Like, they are not going to be favored in any of those games.
Nope, and they're not going to be favored in their next 2 games either, because they get to go back home to play number 25 UCLA and then back on the road to play Maryland. They might struggle.
Yeah, it's kind of like Iowa. Like, Iowa coming into Breslin, McCollum's first game and Sturch's first game. It's like, welcome to the Big Ten. Welcome to Breslin Center. Yeah. And it's not like this is a Penn State that hasn't been in the Big Ten before. But at the same time, like, if I was a team, like, even in MSU, if that was the starting schedule for MSU in the Big Ten, I would be nervous.
Yep. No, it's...
even though I think we're really good.
Kind of wild. Hey, I mean, what do you want to see? You just want to see shot making.
Jordan's got the 2.
Yeah. I just think
he has to be at the 2.
I just think for whatever reason they like him more as like a rotational 3, but hey, if they start him at the 2, I will not be complaining.
Because he should be able to hit shots. People have talked about his shooting all the time, and it's not like he's not going to be shooting better than what we're getting. Like, it's almost like at this point of like, what are you going to lose? Are you going to lose someone that's going to go 1 for 5 or 1 for 6 for someone that goes 1 for 7, 1 for 8? Like, is there really a true difference? Or maybe someone goes like 2 for 6 and he goes 1 for 5. Is there really that much of a difference between those? I don't think there's nothing to lose.
No, I guess I'm with you. I don't really think there's anything to lose.
You need to figure out your 2 in these next month.
Yeah. You need to, yeah. I don't know why. I think Trey Fort has something to his game that could be useful and might be one of those things where you just got to get rolling, but hey, who knows? Maybe it's worth it for Scott. You definitely want to figure out the 2. I mean, you kind of got still a month. You got at Nebraska on January 2nd, but other than that, you should be fine for a while.
I would think so. And obviously, I know you don't have much time, and this really isn't part of a preview, but at some point, we need to have a conversation about, like, what happens to some of these players that come into MSU that are quote-unquote good shooters and then just completely drop off when they get to MSU.
I mean,
How many
I,
times has this happened? Like the
I,
last good pure sure we had was probably Forbes.
nah,
Gary
you're missing
Harris?
one. Nah, way more recently.
Am I missing one?
Yeah,
I feel like I'll be really stupid once I find this out.
Joey Hauser.
Oh yeah, but Hauser wasn't even that good his first year.
No, he wasn't. I meant more senior year. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I know. Dude, hey, I don't know. I don't know if that falls on Izzo or if I mean, it kind of has to a little bit. But again, he gets them better in other places of the game, so
yeah.
it's not like we have this gripe with Izzo. But
But
I
even
don't
though
know.
we're talking about shooting, I don't think MSU is really going to need that much better shooting in this game either, though.
No. I'm talking about playing the
Long term, yeah,
Boilermakers and the Wolverines and the Bruins and
yeah. Yeah, but really, this Penn State team is really led by Mingo. Like, if you look at points, assists,
yeah,
steals, it's all Mingo. So if
minutes.
you
I mean,
sat
he's
Mingo,
got everything.
which Fears is going to be on probably if I would have to assume, you should be
Yeah, I
good.
mean, their three most minutes are all guards, so I think I think they're gonna struggle. I can't lie.
Yeah, probably.
I'll be
But
interested to see what the spread is, especially after them taking a 40-point thumping. What is up with these Big Ten or with these blowouts? I mean, it's weird year.
it is a weird year. But you know what that means, though? It still means MSU's still going to be good.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I'm ready to try to climb back up the rankings again. I mean, you dropped 2 spots. It's no big deal. Might as well get this thing rolling.
yeah, according to the way that national championships has happened the last like
Yeah.
15, 20 years, you have to be in the top 12, I believe, this past AP poll, and MSU is number 9. So hypothetically, MSU is going to be one of 12 teams that could win a national championship. Not saying it's going to happen, but historically, that is the path. So if I'm an MSU fan and you're one of 12 teams, I think you're happy with it.
Oh, 100% after. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but obviously we still have a long season to go. We still have to play the game on Saturday. But any last things before we wrap up here?
No, man, I think no, I really don't. I want to have something to say, but I don't. I think you go out, take care of business on the road and see what kind of momentum you can build going back into that little non-conference dip, which by the way is so weird how they do this now. Like
Yeah, I don't like it.
Iowa, then non-conference, then back to Penn State, then non-conference, non-conference, non-conference. Like, what's the point? But we don't
Yeah,
make the schedule.
no. But if you can start 2-0 in the Big Ten, it's exactly where you want to be.
Yep.
And we will see if MSU does that on Saturday. Yeah, I don't really think there's very much more to talk about basketball related. We could maybe talk a few seconds about the team down the road when it comes to football, but we will not talk about that whatsoever because it's basketball. So yeah, we will be back sometime later this week or next week to talk about this game, maybe preview non-conference games coming up. But thanks for everyone for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment, all that kind of stuff, and make sure to tune in to the next episode.